We're here today basically to stop the war on fathers, and more specifically, the fraud and corruption, kidnapping and extortion by Sacramento Family Law Charlotte Keeley. Kidnap kids for cash. It's racketeering, it's corrupt, it's child abuse. These people need to be jailed.
And this is Attorney Charlotte Keeley?
Attorney Charlotte Keeley from the Sacramento Family Law Court.
Really? So she's here in Sacramento. She's an attorney, obviously, in Sacramento County.
A bad attorney. Corrupt attorney.
A corrupt attorney here in...
It's your capital in the state of California.
And why? What makes you say that? Is there something, did she represent you?
She represented her pocket.
So
stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You didn't retain her services.
No.
I'm assuming then, would I be correct in assuming that it was your ex-wife that retained her?
The court.
The court appointed her?
The court appointed her child attorney.
A guardian ad litem?
Yes.
For your children?
Yes.
Oh. And her representation, so she was paid by the court.
Paid by the court. The court's corrupt.
And so I'm assuming then, did she have like psychologists and did studies and so on about with regards to the children and their well-being and their your ability to parent the children, etc. Is that correct?
Yes, they have their favorite mediators and favorite psychologists that they send you off to that are fraudulent as well. It's a conspiracy. Really?
It sounds rather incestuous, actually, if they're all working together.
It's very incestuous. Once you understand what's going on, this is the worst crime ever.
So it's
all against children to extort huge amounts of money.
Wow, that's pretty bizarre. This is like the kind of thing that you would expect to see on 2020 or something. So this is the office here at 1451. This is her office?
This is her office.
And this is what was this?
This is where a child predator resides.
A child predator runs her business here at 1451 River Park Drive in Sacramento, California. Let me ask you a few questions, if I may. So she was the guardian ad litem for your children and supposed to be representing their best interest. Have you had any contact with your children at all?
5 years. I haven't seen my children.
You haven't seen your children in 5 years. So how can that be in the best interest of a child?
Nothing wrong.
And you've done absolutely nothing wrong, and you haven't seen your children for 5 years.
5 years.
That is one of the most bizarre stories I've ever heard. And how can that be in the best interest of children, I wonder, not being with their father for a full 5 years? If the court says, and guardian ad litems are supposed to represent the best interest of the children, am I correct?
You're correct.
How can that be in the best interest of the children if they don't see their father, their own father, for a full 5 years? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. There must be something more to this story.
Much money.
And there is more. It's about money.
Amounts of money. Not only taxpayers, but also they extort the money from the litigants. They make up all these accusations, and then they seize your accounts. They clean out your accounts. $150,000 cash is what Charlotte Keeley has extorted from me.
Is that right?
And then it turned up in a welfare fraud and grand theft case, local.
Well, okay, so...
with the police officer going to prison.
A welfare fraud. That would sound to me then that would be something that the prosecuting attorney would be involved in.
You would think the DA, you think everybody would be involved.
The district attorney, Jan Scully, then would be involved in investigating some welfare fraud. I mean, that's a big deal, and I know it's, or at least I've been led to believe that that's the kind of thing they jump on, welfare fraud. They want to know about that because, again, that's taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
That are being fraudulently taken and spent. They need to get on that kind of stuff, especially during these most difficult economic times. So you're telling me that has happened. Welfare fraud has occurred in your particular case, and Jan Scully, the prosecuting attorney for Sacramento County, has done nothing about it. Is that correct?
Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
So where do you go? What can you do? I mean, what is it that you can do to change this terrible injustice?
This is what I'm doing.
This is it.
Public awareness,
So
protesting, and taking action against the courts.
You're bringing about awareness. This is what's going on. So every day you go out and tell people this is what's happening and this is why it's happening. And then obviously I got to believe there's shock and awe at that point in time when you tell people this is what's happening and I have nothing to hide. I have done no wrong. And people have got to be... I'm wondering why this isn't on 2020 or 60 Minutes or...
It appears the media is part of the cover-up. The media is part of the cover-up. They're owned and bought basically by the government.
You know, I've spoken with people before, and I've heard I've had communicate, and I've been told that, you know, they like to stay away from anything that has to do with family law because they say, well, it's just so dirty and it's he said, she said, and nobody knows who to believe. But then, you know, you hear the same thing with regard to the Child Protective Services. It's like, what is there, a complete media blackout when it comes to the abduction of children? And apparently it's not just here in Sacramento County. I've been hearing rumors of this happening in 3,200 counties around the United States of America.
It's a shame. It's a shame. It's the judiciary as a whole.
The judiciary as a whole.
The judiciary as a whole. They've targeted children. They've targeted families. To destroy families, to destroy children's lives for money.
And then we see, obviously, what we see today. People, homeless people living on the streets everywhere.
Social, economic collapse.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Social, economic collapse.
You destroy a child, you destroy families, what do you have?
You've destroyed society.
Exactly.
Obviously, wow.
Destroyed society, there's not going to be anything left.
Well, the government will take care of it, though, right?
Yeah, they'll take care of us, all right.
Well, that's very, very...
We're here because the government took care of us.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in a family where I had both my parents were actively involved in my life. I didn't come from a divorced family. So this is all kind of news to me, obviously. I didn't know this was going on here in America, but I want to thank you for the interview. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
To everybody out there in Cyberland, come on out and join us.
All right. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.